the Red Cliffs Lodge. Now, here at the Lodge, they take supporting local very seriously. I got the chance to chat with the executive chef. He showed me a couple incredible things they have here on the menu, and one that everybody is buzzing about in this sponsored interview. Check it out. Now, this is a treat, a feast for the eyes behind us and in front of us. I'm with executive chef KC here at the Red Cliffs Lodge. And what have you put together for us, chef?
Well, what we've tried to do this time around is bring in some local products that we use all the time. And one of the first things that we're going to look at is kombucha, which is produced here locally.
So what I love about Red Cliffs is they do incorporate all of the products from around the community, and that's what we're doing with the setup here. When it comes to kombucha, what makes a good flavor?
You can really do just about anything with it. I mean, fruit is always kind of the basis for it, but it's a fermentation that goes on, and you can add all kinds of little spices and different flavors.
Okay, jump in. Let's add and taste test.
Okay, first we're going to do a couple mocktails here. So the first one here is going to be a grapefruit lavender, and we're going to do a little lavender sugar on the rim here.
Can I remind you that you work in heaven? Like the view behind, this ain't bad.
What's this all about?
I know it's breezy because it's always breezy by the river, but that's okay. What are you adding now?
This is a mango sorbet.
Oh, my mouth just watered.
And it's really simple. And again, this is a grapefruit lavender kombucha.
Okay, pour that on there. Oh, that looks delicious. And kombucha is good for you.
Oh yeah, it's a lot of probiotics, and it makes it good for the tummy.
Okay, chef, I think we have time to do. Oh, we're doing fresh herbs.
So a little lavender.
A little lavender. Okay, we have time to do one more.
Okay, the second one we got.
While I take a sip of this one.
Is a.
Oh wow, wow. Nicely done.
Thank you. And then we have a ginger lime, cherry, and what I have here is an acai sorbet. We're going to hit it with a little bit of this. If
you weren't already enticed to come stay at the Red Cliffs Lodge, now your taste buds are saying we have to get there immediately. And while you put that together, this is not the only treat you brought to show our viewers. We also have some fudge
We
waiting.
got some local fudge that's produced here just a couple miles down the road from us.
Okay, again, supporting local here at Red Cliffs. You dress that and we'll move over to the fudge. Thank you, chef. The Cowboy Grill here at the Red Cliffs Lodge is open 7 days a week for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. And I'm back with the executive chef, and we went from kombucha to fudge. Where's this from, chef?
So this is actually produced locally just a couple miles down the road. A company called Farmhouse Fudge. And we sell all kinds of different varieties here in our gift shop, but we also do a nice little dessert. This is actually a prickly pear fudge. So, it's got that prickly pear, that butteriness. It is really rich.
Melt in your mouth.
Oh, yes. And this is definitely not for one, unless you want a bellyache later. This is for 2 to 3 people. But
how are you going to dress it up for us? And do you like fudge? Are you a fudge fan?
Oh, I've discovered fudge. I always thought it was just chocolate fudge, and then I discovered all these other flavors, and it's just been a wonderful experience.
You said prickly pear, and that looks more like strawberry to me. It has this beautiful pink color.
Well, yeah, it's that prickly pear. The fruit is that redness.
What are you putting to the side?
I have pomegranate little seeds, and I have a little bit of sweetened pecans, and I'm going to finish it with a little bit of honey sauce.
Okay, so the honey on the fudge. I would not even think about that, but chef, you do want to talk about how, again, it's so important here at Red Cliffs to source locally, and that honey is close by.
I can't get much more local than this. We just have to go about 100 yards over this way, and that'll be our next
Okay, that's
stop.
Our next stop. Should I take a bite of the fudge first?
I think that'd be a good idea.
All right, will you do it with me? Let's see how this is the prickly pear. I take a little bite of the edge, okay, and dip it in the honey as I go. That is rich. What do you think?
I think it's a winner.
All the flavors, that is an absolute winner.
They do an excellent job. Shot every fudge.
I feel like we have to wrap it up so I can go in again. I'll meet you back at the bees. How about that?
Sounds like a plan.
So you saw that honey that Chef KC drizzled on that locally made fudge. Well, we're not far from the restaurant now where Chef and I were standing. This is where the bees are at the Red Cliffs Lodge, and I'm standing next to Melissa as she works hard over there with the bees. She is known as the bee wrangler. Melissa, what are you doing right now?
I'm pulling a frame out so that I can show you how the bees fill it with honey and brood. Brood are the eggs that the queen lays, and the workers take care of them until they're ready to cap it off and let them prepare to come out.
Melissa, you just put smoke in there before you pulled that out. Why?
I did, to calm the bees.
Okay, I'm hoping right now, along with you and Brian shooting this, that they're nice and calm. But they seem to be focused on what right there?
This is where they're working the frame. So what the layout that they like to do, this will be brood. You can see some of it where it's capped. This is honey, so they have the food for the new bees that will be hatching right there.
How many bees does it take to make the tiniest amount of honey?
A full colony, when it's at its height, is going to be about 60,000 bees. But they just are working constantly, and they have different jobs that they do throughout their lifetime. Some will start as nurse bees that take care of the brood, which again is these capped cells. Some will be field bees, and they go out and collect the pollen and the nectar and bring it back to the hive. A field bee has a very short lifespan, usually about 3 weeks in the height of the season.
Well, and Melissa, I walked up and was understandably nervous, but you said, Nisha, these are honeybees. I mean, typically you're protected, but you said typically they're not going to sting you.
They're very gentle.
Very gentle.
Yes.
Okay, so
they die when they sting you, so it's not in their best interest.
What are you picking up now? What's that?
This is some comb that just happened to fall off the frame that I had.
Will it turn into honey?
You can see, well, there's some honey here. There's actually some brood. It looks like it just wasn't attached real well. Let me pull out another frame to show you.
Why do you think this is important to have this right on property here at Red Cliffs?
Because we have our own special honey that we can sell and use in the kitchen. So you can see this frame isn't totally built out. They've built some of the wax out.
No, that looks totally different than the other one.
Yes, because this is a process when it's a brand new package. They've started, this is nectar that they've brought in. They add water to turn it into honey, and then they'll cap it when it is ready to go, and that's what you see here is capped honey.
This is so cool for our viewers to see the behind the scenes. Know now when you're eating honey at Red Cliffs that it comes from a spot just on the property. They call you the bee wrangler. I'm going to call you the bee whisperer, because whatever you've done, these bees are nice and calm while we're going through their home. Look at that one. Wow.
So this is all brood. These will all be new bees that will hatch soon.
Melissa, thank you so much for deep diving with us into the honeybees here at Red Cliffs Lodge. And I can safely say to everybody out there, no one got stung.
You're welcome.
I'm good.
And
just delicious
You're
honey.
very brave.
Thank you.
Thank you, folks.